give you. Let me first share the link.
To the stream.
First, yeah. First, I'm sharing the link with my stream, and then I'm sharing my stream with you. View on the YouTubes, then copy and
So
paste.
do you stream every day? Yippee.
I'd like to stream. Every time, like when I work, sometimes I'm really sleepy, and if I debate, it
Okay,
wakes
Nico.
me up. So it's a good way to wake up.
So what's the debate topic? Still haven't answered that question.
Uh,
Like anything about veganism?
yeah, I mean, we were in the middle of a debate yesterday, and then you left. We were debating.
Yeah, I had to
Did a
I had to do
lie.
some things. I was there for like an hour, but I had to go do some things,
I'm
so
sure.
that's why I left.
So the question is, so your ethics.
Stop debating on the Discord server and go get a live.
So
Get a life, bitches, diggers.
so you were. So you said that
What the
you believe in
skibbity?
ethics. That ethics exist in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So some of your ethics you said come from God, and some of your ethics you said come from yourself, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I said the ones that come from yourself, I would not define them as ethics. It's just your.
Why?
Well, it's like saying that the fact that you like vanilla ice cream is an ethical claim.
Okay, so all ethics have to come from religion, so atheists can't have ethics.
Wait. Hold on. No, first I want to show that you have no ethics. Then we'll come to me. But
So do atheists? No, no, wait. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general. Do atheists have ethics? Do you think I know you think ethics don't exist, but so I'm guessing you don't think anyone has ethics, right?
I believe that
Is that your?
I believe that ethics do not exist, just like the number one doesn't exist.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny?
Hold on, I'll
You
be back in
say
like 1 second.
Okay.
you say that I believe. Well, what I believe is that you'd never hook yourself up to a fucking polygraph and say that shit that ethics don't exist. Like fucking what?
I
So
do.
what's your
Say,
reasoning that ethics don't exist, Mr. Slave? What's your reasoning behind that claim?
Just like the fact that the number one doesn't exist. The number one is just a word that evolved.
What?
It just is
What?
the number one is just a word. The
So with
so
that
you
logic, with that logic, nothing exists. Like the number 57 doesn't exist.
correct. Well, if the number one doesn't
don't-
exist, I mean, the number one is a word. The word one exists
But
as
yeah.
as an entry in the English dictionary. So it
So
exists
what's
Little
the
big man.
what's the separation between numbers and words? So words can exist in your terminology, right, or whatever you're thinking,
in the
but
dictionary.
numbers can exist.
In the dictionary, and the number
But what
one.
is the?
Cheeseburger.
The
Why
number
does the dictionary exist then? To you?
well, the dictionary exists as a book.
people using words
Books
in
exist.
dictionaries, bro.
Excuse me.
So I'm confused here. What is your logic? How does one thing not exist, but other things that fall under basically the same category do exist? How does that work?
No, but nothing. I mean, we. I mean, we can. The question is, what? Okay, what do you think exists? Give me an example of something that you believe exists.
Everything that
And that,
exists, everything that's
Example.
here, everything I know about.
Give me just an example.
I don't know, a dog, a cat, an animal, a house, anything that
Example.
I know about, anything
So
that is an example. That's it. I gave you multiple.
okay, so let's take the sky. So you believe the sky exists,
I do believe it exists. Yeah,
right? But what is the sky? Can you define the sky?
I don't know. It's like up there. It looks blue because of light reflection, and it the ozone layers in it that keeps us from burning death from the sun. Right?
Right. We don't know all that. What
We
we
do know all that.
no, right? Because we could be in a dream state, and everything could be an illusion, right? You have to take that
What's possible?
right.
Everything you say could be wrong. right? That's
Well,
just a possibility.
I don't know, but you have to when you seek truth, absolute
Mhm.
truth. So you need
Well, then,
so you need to take into account the possibility that this entire universe is just part of your cosmic dream.
yeah,
Absolute in
I
seeking the
guess
bare minimum of like you being a human being, like and in doing what other human beings do, like agreeing to these collective social norms that we have.
Wait, what?
Like
What?
if you were to
Jim
be
Bob, what's
convicted,
happening?
a
I don't
defense
know.
is not to
Debate.
the court saying, "Oh, Your Honor,
Mhm.
you can't really prove that guns exist because like guns required math and numbers are pure conjecture."
Wait. I just finished saying that you have to take into consideration the possibility that this universe that you perceive is nothing but an illusion, nothing but a dream that you're having.
That's a that's a
Hey, no,
possibility,
Right,
right?
I
It's
don't
always
have.
a possibility.
right. All that you
I don't see. Wait, I don't see where you're going. So you think nothing exists, right? That's what you're saying. What is the difference
How do you
between
exist?
what is the difference between the water bottle I'm holding in my hand existing and a number not existing? What's the difference there? I don't see the difference. Why does the number 1 not exist, but the house that I'm living in exists? Like what's the difference there in your logic?
I mean,
Can I just say thank you first, Mr. Slade, because the raw fucking idiocy of your statements actually snapped me back into consciousness just now. I was going to sleep because I felt like this reality doesn't need to exist for me right now. I can go to sleep. But now I'm awake because it's so profoundly dumb what you're saying. And Jim Bob is like totally just going to stomp you into the dirt.
Damn.
so
So, Mr. Slave, I want you to answer my question. Are you going to answer my question, or are you going to avoid the question? Because if you're not going to answer my question, then there's no point in debating.
why would I not want to answer your question?
Because you usually don't answer my question. So go ahead and answer the question, please.
All right. So the number one is just a word. One is just a word.
One is loneliest number that you'll ever do.
Fire song.
Yo, that give me an idea. Give me a minute.
Okay. So numbers, but numbers are derived from words, right? What are words derived from, Mr. Slave? What do you think words are derived from, right?
Words are just expressions of emotions.
So what are numbers?
Words. So
So
yeah. So
so they exist, right? So numbers are
they
words, and words
exist in,
exist, and the numbers
but
exist.
not in the physical sense. Words are they have an existence as entries in a dictionary.
Okay.
They don't. So the words don't exist. Now you could say yeah, but
Or they exist. They just don't exist. So what you're saying is they don't exist somewhere, but they exist somewhere else. How can they only exist one in one area?
What the fuck?
no. What do you mean? I mean,
Okay, no. You're saying no. You're saying numbers can exist as words, but they don't exist physically.
no,
What do
no,
you
no.
mean
I'm
by
not
that?
saying numbers can exist as words. I'm saying numbers are
You
just
said numbers are words.
so
Okay,
their
so
existence
they exist.
only as entries in the dictionary of the English language,
Okay,
not in the physical sense. There is no number one existing in anywhere in the physical universe. The number one does not exist. Neither does
okay.
a number.
All right.
So
So words exist as entries then as well, is what you're saying? So they exist in one way but not in another. They exist in like as entries, like you said in the dictionary in the English language, right? But they don't exist physically, is what you're saying.
right.
Okay. So how does this connect to ethics? Are you saying because ethics are just entries, they're just like a word, just like a view that they don't exist?
I don't remember how we got to that, but
Because that's the initial question I asked.
what's the question? What's
This
the
guy's so
initial?
I
funny.
asked
I love
why
Mr.
don't
Slade.
I asked why don't you what's your reasoning behind the statement that ethics don't exist? And we went down this number of tangents. So can you answer the ethics question just without using any other hypothetical examples or examples
Wait,
like this?
what do you mean without examples? I mean, how can I?
Well, I mean, like so I asked you if ethics, why do you think ethics do not exist? And you went into this number example.
No,
Just
I don't.
tell me about ethics.
I don't remember the dialogue process. But let's start over. So, you're asking me a good question. How do I know ethics don't exist? So
I'm
let's
not asking how you know, I'm asking how you think. Because you don't know, right? You think. It's an opinion, right? So how do you, how do you think? Why do you
well,
think?
let's think about it right now. So give me an example of an ethical claim, of an ethic. Give me an example.
Why do I need to give you an example?
How else we'll go through the examples? We'll start with examples and then we'll figure out the rule
But
from.
that doesn't, no, that doesn't explain your reasoning. That's explaining ethics in general. That's not explaining your reasoning. I want why you think ethics don't exist. I want the answer from you.
Because like when I try to think of examples of ethics, all I get is just behavior that basically
Yeah.
evolution created. It's just a behavior pattern, nothing else.
So yeah, but it exists as behavior. So they do exist. You're admitting to that. They exist as behavior patterns.
Um. Okay. So the question is, what do you mean by ethics? I mean, if
Why are we reversing the question again? You
no,
mean ethics like morals?
no, because amoebas also behave. Would you say amoebas have ethics?
What do you mean amoebas?
Uh, Single-celled organisms also
Oh, okay.
display
Behave.
patterns of behavior, just like humans.
Yeah.
Just like humans don't
hmm
murder,
But
amoebas.
I'm not the one who associated ethics with behavior patterns. You're the one who said ethics exist as behavior patterns.
Right. So, I mean, but what's your define
So
proposing to?
they exist as behavior patterns, right? Someone can exhibit behavior patterns. Not everyone's going to exhibit ethics.
No, but the question, if you define that ethics are just behavior patterns,
Someone with yeah, okay. Hold on. Okay. An example, okay. Someone who goes around and murders everyone with feeling no remorse, just like no pleasure, right? They're just a psychopath. They just go around killing people because why not, right? You can do it. Would you say they have ethics? I wouldn't say they have ethics. I don't want to say they have morals. I don't think they have morals. I don't think they have any moral quandary. Right? I don't think they're deciding between this is good or bad. I think they're just doing it because they can do it. It's physically possible.
well,
Would you think they have morals?
I mean, um, the question is, I mean, you can always analyze the behavior, and your
Yes.
analysis of the behavior would be identical to the behavior of a stone, of a rock rolling down the hill. It's at the end of the day,
Right.
at the end of the day, all behaviors are just chemical and physical reactions started basically at the
hmm
Big Bang.
So behaviors. So are you saying they don't exist?
Right. If you assume I mean, one way to think about it is if you assume a deterministic universe, then there are no ethics. There's nothing. There's just an infinite chain reaction of tiny, tiny balls bumping against each other. That's
It
what.
doesn't matter if they only exist in one way or another. They're still existing. That disproves that everything you're saying disproves your claim. The fact that you're talking about ethics, about the fact that you're relating them to behavior patterns, completely disproves your claim about how they don't exist. See, that's why I don't see where we're going. This is why is confusing. To
Right.
speak of something is to speak of something is to speak of something that exists,
Right.
right?
So if you mean, so I'm basically repeating myself. But if you mean, if when you say ethics, what you mean is just a scientific prognosis of a behavior pattern, then how is that different than the laws of physics? So
But they still exist. I'm not
yes,
trying
yes,
to go into this.
that's fine.
No, wait.
Yes,
So, but that just proves your claim. You don't think ethics exist, but they do exist. You admitted to it.
yes. As an entry in the dictionary, yes, they exist.
No, but
Yes,
they exist.
as as
No,
an
they exist.
entry,
They exist.
as
They
as
exist. They exist. It
as
doesn't
an
matter what
entry.
they are. They exist.
No, as an entry in
Why doesn't it matter what they are?
no, they exist as an entry in the dictionary of concepts, of scientific concepts.
It does it doesn't matter what they are.
No.
You said word for word you do not think ethics exist, and you just said ethics exist.
Okay.
You just proved yourself wrong.
No.
It doesn't matter what sense it doesn't. No, it doesn't
Yes.
matter what sense they're on, what plane they're on. They exist.
No.
You said that they didn't exist before, but now they do exist. I'm confused here.
Ooh,
Right. So
thanks.
when we say exists, it's an incomplete.
Yes.
It's an incomplete statement because you need to specify
What do you think?
in what realm.
What do you think exist means? What do you think exist
Right.
means?
So the word exist, we can use it in multiple realms. So words can exist in dictionaries, and
Okay, okay. I'm gonna say this, and then I want to move on because this topic is just us back and forthing, like on the same thing. You said, right? You said before, yesterday, you said today, you don't think ethics exist. You never specified, I don't think ethics exist physically, but I know they exist as an input.
then I'm
No,
specifying.
wait. Yeah, no, you never specified anything. All you said
Then I'm
was you don't think
specifying.
ethics exist, and you've just disproved your own claim.
No, then look, you can either let me specify now, or
Why do I need you to specify now? Because you didn't specify before. The question wasn't, oh, why do you think ethics? Why do you think ethics don't exist physically? Right? That wasn't the question because that wasn't what you said originally. Originally, you said ethics don't exist, or I don't think ethics exist, and I asked you why, and you just proved that they exist in somewhere somehow. So I don't know where we're going with this here. I don't know. Do you want to move on to a different topic? Because I don't. We're just gonna keep
no.
going in circles.
Look,
No, wait. What's the topic?
So he thinks he thinks ethics don't exist. Originally, right? Originally, he said he thinks as a person ethics don't exist. So I asked him why he thinks ethics don't exist, and he keeps proving himself wrong. He keeps proving his claim wrong that ethics don't exist. He's
But then there's
speaking
different
ethics,
levels of ethics. Like my ethics come from solely religion. Your ethics, I assume your ethics don't come from religion. I don't.
but they exist, is what we're saying.
Yeah, they
We're
exist.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the
we're not
ethics can be
talking
very
about.
different. Like
But
if
it
we're saying
doesn't.
veganism, like mine ethics come from religion,
Yeah.
which says I'm allowed to consume animal meat. But someone else's ethics saying no, that still doesn't mean that ethic doesn't exist. It exists, but it's in
Yeah.
different forms.
Yeah, that's what we're arguing about. We're basically I'm arguing against his claim because he proved his own claim wrong. That's what I'm getting from this. So would you want to move on to a different topic? Because like I said, we're just going in circles, Mr. Slave.
So are you both non-vegan?
we're not. Going,
I'm non yeah,
we're
I'm
not.
non-vegan, but I'm for veganism. He's non-vegan and he's anti-vegan.
We're not going in circles when you keep shutting me up. We're just not. You're every time I start a
Wait, if you're
sentence.
for veganism, why aren't you vegan?
Okay, well, can you explain what your claim means now? I'm not gonna interrupt you anymore, but I want you to explain what your claim means because from my perspective, you've kept repeating the same thing and you kept disproving it.
What I meant to say when I say that ethics, whether they exist or not, numbers, whether they exist or not, I meant, are they scientifically evident? Is there a scientific experiment we can conduct to discover the number one, an ethical claim that murdering is wrong? Is there a scientific experiment we can conduct? That's what I meant. Does it have um, is it evident physically in the universe in some way? That's what I meant.
Dude, like, scientific experiment, right? So you start with a hypothesis, but your scientific experiment is that like hypotheses don't exist. So how do we test that without a
Y'all nerdy.
hypothesis?
I mean, so we can devise an experiment and discover that humans usually don't murder each other, and we can decide, therefore, there is an ethic that humans think that murdering is bad. Yes, we can do that, but that's not what I meant. Do ethics
So
exist?
you meant you don't think ethics exist in a physical term, right? I mean, sorry, in like physically, right? You don't think ethics exist like physically, right?
Look, ethics can.
No. Wait. Okay. No, I just want to know because I want to go back to your opinion. Okay, I want to clear up what you said.
Why
So
do you
I'm gonna
keep?
clear up. I'm gonna give you a
I
chance. I'm
never
gonna give you a chance to change what you said.
I never shut you up ever. Why do you always shut me up? Why do you do that?
Because you're avoiding answering the question.
You're not
Okay.
letting me
What
finish.
I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change it. Okay.
Why do
Now,
you keep?
do you think? Do you want to change your claim? Do you want to change your claim to ethics don't exist in the physical sense? Is that what you were trying to say when you made that claim?
No,
Is that what
because
you were trying to
no,
specify?
because we can see humans not murdering each other and claiming we don't murder each other because we think murder is wrong. So scientifically, you might conclude that humans believe in the ethical claim that murdering is wrong.
I
So
so you're not saying so your original claim was not ethics don't exist. So was your original claim just ethics don't exist at all? Is that what
look,
your original claim was?
ignore my original claim. I don't see how that.
I'm not ignoring your original claim because that's what this entire argument's based on.
No,
That's what the entire argument's based on. If you hadn't made that original claim, we wouldn't be discussing this.
no.
What do you
Not.
mean,
I'm
no?
not
You can't
interested.
deny it.
No, I'm not interested in a discussion, in such a discussion. I'm interested in seeking truth. Now,
Okay.
I can tell
But
I can tell you what I've discovered, and we can share ideas, and we can argue about ideas that are in my head.
but
But if,
what's okay?
if
So
you
you said no. Wait.
but if you
You
don't
s-
want, hold on. But if you don't want to understand what's in my head, then I'm not interested in the discussion. I'm
I'm
interested.
trying to
Go ahead.
I'm trying to discuss about what you're thinking, right? Okay. You originally stated
Ignore.
that you think ethics do not exist.
Ignore.
Yes, you did. Yes, you
I'm
did.
not.
It's
I'm not.
No, I'm not. No. Wait. Listen. This entire argument started off the question I asked you. I asked you, why do you think ethics don't exist? Why? What is your reasoning behind that? If you hadn't made that claim, I wouldn't have known you don't think ethics don't exist,
Let me ask
and I
you.
wouldn't have asked that
Let me
question.
ask you.
The entire argument here.
Let me
Then
ask.
what's the argument based off of?
Let me
What's
ask
the
you a
argument
question.
based off of?
Let me ask you a question.
What?
Do you feel that we disagree about ethics existing or not?
No, I don't. I feel like we both know ethics exist in some form or another.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel that a person who is unethical is going to be punished by God?
I don't know. It depends what they do if they're unethical. If they're unethical and they go around killing people, they're probably going to be punished by God because that's against the Ten Commandments. That's against the basic rules God set, right?
Right.
But if they're unethical and they just sit in their home all day and don't do anything
No, no, no.
productive,
Hold
I
on.
don't think they're going to be punished by God
Fine.
because they're not doing anything
Hold
bad, right?
on. No, that's fine.
Well, absolutely, I think we should kill all faggots.
So you feel, so Jim Bob, you feel, I would say that in a certain sense, you feel that ethics are part of the fabric of reality as it was created by
Yeah.
God. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
That's our disagreement. So I'm claiming that no, ethics are not part of the fabric of reality and there is no God.
But okay. So I'm gonna argue with you on this topic now, but I want you to know that your original claim was not that. That was not what your original claim was.
Fine, fine.
Okay.
Then-
So now, okay, now make your point. Okay, we'll start over with this new claim.
Well, that's my okay. So some people believe either in God or without God that ethics are part of that they are part of the somehow they're part of the fabric of reality somehow, and that a person that does evil is punished somehow by the universe. And I
Yep.
believe that's not true. There is no
So you
there,
believe
there is no good
there's no
and bad.
you.
There is no good and bad. There's only mathematical equations. I mean,
So there's okay. I'm not trying to interrupt you. All right. I want to go back. I want to restart clean because I was like yelling at you earlier. But so are you saying what you're saying, right? Is there's no good and bad outside the view of ethics, right? So outside the view of ethics, there's no good and bad, is what you're saying, right?
no, there's no good and bad
You're
in the absolute
because
sense. There's
because I feel like there's only good and bad where ethics stand, right? Because if no one had ethics, no one would know what good and bad is, right? To them, good and bad wouldn't exist because there's no ethics. The whole point of ethics is morals. Morals are what's good and bad, right? So if that's basically like what we use to determine good and bad, I don't think that it can exist outside of them.
no. I'm not going into the semantics. I'm going into the fabric of reality and God and the universe somehow punishing bad behavior. I'm saying there is no bad behavior. There's only suboptimal
So you're
behavior.
saying me having ethics is a lie, it's a falsehood, and it's an illusion. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And just like the belief in God, it's a mass delusion.
How do
Many
you
things.
so you think it's a mass delusion though? There's no you can't 100% know it's a mass delusion no matter how much evidence you that you have access to. You can't prove. So this is your opinion, right? It's not fact.
Um, well, so this. I mean, you could. That's difficult. I mean, everything is in my opinion. Yes, that
Yeah.
statement is always true. Even, like everything is my opinion. Anything I would ever think is just my opinion. So that statement is always true.
Yeah.
But that's not important. That's that's not something we could ever disagree on. That's
Yeah.
basically
Obviously.
that's basically the definition of the word of it's yeah it's basically yeah that's not something interesting. It's something interesting. It's a curiosity, right? But it's not part of this discussion so much. So I believe that it's better for you. You would live a happier life, a more optimal life, if you would know the truth that there is
It's
no.
happiness, but is happiness but how do you know it's the truth? The truth isn't opinionated. The truth is
Yes,
what's set in stone, right?
yes,
So if you just said what'd you say? Sorry, I got distracted.
yeah.
If you just said, right, that without ethics there's no good and bad, right?
No,
Okay.
no. There is
You
no
said
good and bad. Period.
there is no good and bad, right?
Yeah.
So you can be happy without good and bad. You can be happy without doing good and bad. Is that what you're saying?
You could say that good and bad could be defined as just how good you feel, how bad you feel.
Yeah. Okay. So you said that you just said the truth, right?
Yeah.
So can you restate what you just said? Wait, what did you just say? You said that I would be happier if I knew the truth.
Yeah.
But this truth isn't the truth. This truth is your opinion.
But that's always true.
It's what you believe is the truth.
But that's always true.
Yeah.
You're not that,
But why would so? but there has to be a difference, right? If we're using truth this loosely, there's a difference from me knowing the truth and me knowing your opinion. Because that's what I'm getting the fact that the truth you're talking about is me just knowing your opinion. Your opinion is that there is no God, there are no
Let me
ethics.
ask you.
Okay?
Fine. So let me ask you, what's your evidence that there is good, like objective, what they call objective good and bad in the universe? What?
What do you mean objective?
That's a good question because we just finished saying that everything is subjective, so we can never have objective. So if you agree that everything is subjective, then how could you ever know that? Right. So you can never know anything objective. So you can never know anything outside of.
So in my opinion, right?
Mhm.
Good and bad exists only within the realms of ethics. If you don't have ethics, then you don't know good and bad. That's so within the realms, and that's what I think, right?
I
Within the
mean,
realms of ethics,
but
good and bad
but
exists.
when you say realm, do you mean like a type of a dictionary? Is so ethics is like a book? There's a book of ethics, or is it part of the fabric?
I'm talking about okay. I'm gonna simplify this. Where there is ethics, there's good and bad.
No, no, no. The question is, what do you mean by ethics? Do you mean s-
Morals,
right? But what do you mean?
deriving what is right, deriving what is wrong.
No, 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 no. Do you mean is it part of the fabric of reality, or or is it?
Well, if ethics are, I mean, I think everything that exists is part of the fabric of reality.
Let me
If
ask.
ethics exist, then they must be part of the fabric of reality.
Let me ask you this. So
Good and bad exist,
hold on.
and within ethics,
Wait a
they're the
minute.
fabric of ethics.
Hold on. Hold on. So you agree that humans are composed of tiny particles like atoms and stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think there is anything else we're composed of besides elementary physical particles?
Not that I know of.
So where
I mean, we have cells and stuff in them, but like other than that, on that scale, I don't think so.
right? So right, the scientists they spend billions of dollars to crash tiny particles into each other, and they see everything that comes out of the mess, and it's always the same tiny particles, and that's all there is.
Yeah, because matter cannot be created nor destroyed.
Fine. But the question is, if all we have in this universe is just tiny particles that are governed by simple laws of nature, so
Mhm.
where, right? Ethics did not come out of particle accelerators. So how do you have room? There is no room. I claim there is no room based on known science. There's no room for ethics to exist.
So the particles that exist in my brain are computing to me that ethics exist. So are you
Yeah.
saying that everything I know is tiny particles? There's a limit of what I can know, right? If I can't know everything because there's not enough particles. Is that what you're saying?
No, no, no. But no, 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 no. I'm saying ethics. I said that I believe that you believe that ethics and good and bad are sewn into the fabric of reality.
I think ethics is sewn into the fabric of reality, and I think good and bad exist within ethics.
That's fine.
I feel like I feel like
Fine.
they're dependent of one another.
No, no,
Without ethics, you can't have good and
no.
bad.
Fine.
Without good and bad, there are no
It
ethics.
doesn't matter. I'm not interested right now.
Well, it does matter because you just asked me that
No,
question.
no, no.
It
Stop.
has to matter.
Stop. Stop. Stop.
Stop what?
Stop arguing. I'm not interested in arguing. I'm interested in understanding how you see reality, and I'm interested in
And
you.
I just explained to you how I see it, and then you told me it wasn't important, and I should stop.
No,
So I'm confused.
we're not. I just need. I don't need anything. I just need the layer of ethics. I don't need. If you believe that good and bad are like compound.
Okay, I think ethics exists within the fabric of reality. Yes,
No.
to answer your question.
Okay. So the question is there? Okay. So is the, it, but how where? I mean, the scientists never discovered and like the like They
Do the
just
scientists? Do you think that? Wait. I'm gonna interrupt because I want to make a point here.
sure.
Do you think the scientists, while they were discovering it, do you think they had ethics? Do you think they know the difference between good and bad? Do you
I
think
don't
that
see.
what they were while they were discovering that? Do you think
I
they had that?
I don't need a scientist. I just need the particle
But you
accelerator.
brought them up.
No,
But you
so
brought it up.
no,
What
but
do you need a particle accelerator for? What are you using the particle accelerator for?
to
Are you trying to create ethics? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm
Because
trying to
ethics
see.
already exist.
I'm trying to see what the fabric of reality. That's what we do with particle accelerators. We try
Okay.
to see what is reality. What is this physical universe composed of? Everything in this physical universe seems to be composed of atoms, and atoms are composed of electrons and so on. So where is the ethics? How could you have ethics? We know the fabric of reality. We know it's just elementary particles. That's all there is to it. So
Okay, how can a word exist? How can a word exist if it's just particles? I'm reversing
a
the
word,
question here
but
because
that's
I want you
not.
to give an answer.
I didn't claim that a word is part of the fabric of reality. A word is just a macro phenomenon, macro social phenomenon.
What's it originate from?
Words?
Yeah,
How
what's
did?
it originate from in your book? In your evolution? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying it originates from, right?
Yes.
Where does evolution originate from? Do you think
Evolution?
evolution is part of the fabric of reality? Or no? Do you think it goes deeper?
No. No. Evolution is a macro phenomenon that happens
So
when
what's the big phenomenon behind all of this? Did the Big Bang?
I don't know, but all we know, all we have.
You don't know.
Hold on,
So you don't know either, right? You're saying you don't know.
but we do know. I'll tell you what we do know. We do know that the fabric of reality is just elementary physical particles, and it all seems
Mhm.
to have started at a Big Bang. Yeah, that's all. That's what we do.
So maybe ethics isn't part of the fabric of reality. Maybe you're right. Maybe ethics is a macro phenomenon that exists because of the Big Bang, right?
No,
Without the Big Bang, we wouldn't exist. If we didn't exist, then ethics didn't exist.
no. I mean, if everything comes to the Big Bang, then it doesn't help us to know that it's something.
Well, everything does come from the Big Bang. And do you think anything would exist if the Big Bang didn't exist?
Hold on.
If the Big Bang didn't happen, would it have evolved then?
Okay, well, I just said it. As far as we know, everything started at the Big Bang. So asking me if something, if ethics, claiming that ethics also came from the Big Bang, we already said
Well, I'm not
everything.
saying that. I'm saying that they could be a macro phenomenon now. That's what I'm saying. Now I see
But a
where you're coming
macro,
from. So they could
no,
be a
but
macro phenomenon.
no. But when I say macro phenomenon, so like language is a macro, like language is a phenomenon of it's part of
What type of phenomenon is language?
it's a social phenomenon, right? We can
Do you think
categorize
ethics is why is an ethics a social phenomenon?
exactly.
Don't we use ethics in daily life and so
Yes,
and like social interactions?
ethics.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
So ethics is a social phenomenon.
yes,
So
yes,
if if the social phenomenon of language,
yes.
right, that's a macro phenomenon, then why isn't ethics a macro
I
phenomenon?
agree. I'm just saying it's not part of the fabric of reality. It's
I'm
just,
not saying that either.
so you don't believe. So the question is, do you believe that a bad person is punished by the universe?
Probably, yeah. I think they get punished by God if they're bad enough. That's not
Okay.
part of my religion.
Okay. So I can tell you this. So so even if there is a God, even if you're right somehow, and there is a God, and that God will punish bad people, that is still not ethics in my definition. Because God is not different than you and me. He might be bigger and stronger and might have created the universe, but his commands don't create ethics. It's just he just rules by force. I submit to him, fine. I cannot fight someone of that magnitude, but that's not ethics. That's not good and bad.
It doesn't have to be ethics. And
It's not
so
good and bad.
hold up. So I think ethically, if we're saying right, if we're saying that I'm saying, right, that ethics exist as a macro phenomenon. Okay, and if God has ethics, he can view good and bad. Being strong and big and ruling by force isn't ethics.
Correct.
I'm agreeing with you with that. But if God has ethics, if God can derive from good and bad, right? If God can derive from good and bad, he's the big creator, then what I'm deriving from good and bad, if it aligns with him, then I'm right. So if God has ethics,
No. What do you mean if God has ethics? You just do it.
yeah, if God has ethics, then he's gonna punish
But
those who are bad.
but I would say God doesn't have ethics more than me and you have ethics, more than my table.
But how do you know? You don't know if
Say-
you're saying that God doesn't exist.
Why?
It's a possibility, right? Everything's a
Even if
possibility.
even if God exists and He's sewn into the fabric of reality His ethics, that does not make it ethics. It's just His ethics. It might as well.
So if he has ethics, right? If ethics, his ethics are sewn into the fabric of reality, those ethics do not exist. That makes no sense.
No, His ethics. That's like your ethics. It's no different.
Yeah, what's wrong with my ethics?
It's
You
just
think
that's like
so? You think there's no
no.
difference?
That's not ethics because your liking vanilla ice cream is not ethics. You saying
What,
that
how do you know I like vanilla ice cream?
whatever you liking not murdering humans is akin to you liking vanilla ice cream. That's not ethics.
Yeah, those are my. Why
Yeah,
aren't those ethics?
yeah. It's like you
So you're
saying
saying okay? So no. Wait. If they aren't ethics, what are they?
preferences,
Preferences?
if at
Okay.
all. I would
But
claim no.
why can't preferences
Wait,
fall
wait.
under the
No, no, no.
category of
No,
ethics?
no. I would say there are special preferences. There are optimizations.
Okay.
When you
The
say
definition.
when
Yeah.
you say here,
Second one.
let me just say something. When you say murder is bad, what you're saying is we as a society are suboptimal.
Ethics. Okay. Ethics. The definition of ethics from the Oxford Dictionary, right, is moral principles that govern a person's behavior and the conducting of an activity. If me thinking murder is wrong and I'm not going to do murder is an ethics, then what is it?
No,
Because that fits that definition
no,
perfectly.
no. But we already discussed that.
I think that murder is
Hold on,
wrong. That's
wait,
my moral principle, and I'm not going to murder. It's governing my behavior.
Jim, stop yelling, and please don't cut me off so much. So
Well,
no,
if you were debating with me, that's how it works. I'm sorry.
no. There's no reason to behave like this.
I'm not. So you think I'm attacking you? Do you think I'm attacking you?
What's the point? Do you want to grow or do you want to win? What's your purpose in life?
What's my purpose in life? I don't know, to exist and contribute to society
Right. So you want to
and become one with the
grow.
cosmos again.
Right. So you want to contribute your opinion to me. If you win by
Well,
force,
yeah. And I am contributing my opinion to you. I'm telling you what I believe and I'm justifying with evidence.
but if I'm not convinced because you don't let me speak, you don't let me share my thoughts and emotions.
Care if you're convinced, because your opinions are, to me, are stupid. They make no sense. I'm trying to tell you what I believe, and if you just don't believe it, I have no control over that. If I can't convince
Not
you of
true.
my opinions, then we shouldn't be debating.
Wait.
It's true. I have no control over it.
No.
If you're never gonna believe my opinion, do I
How
have
do you
control over
know?
it?
How do you know I'll never believe your opinion? Look, you came.
I don't know.
Look. You fervently is that a word?
I don't
You
know.
you vehemently believe in whatever you believe. Something brought you to this belief. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be impossible for you to bring me also to that belief. But I
But
also
I'm not. But
hold on,
you just said I'm not getting you anywhere close to it.
hold on. But I also I'm convinced of what I believe, and I believe it's possible to bring you to what I believe. Maybe through
Okay.
discussion, we'll discover that we're both
Well, I'm
wrong.
not going to be. I'm not going to go to what you believe because it's complete nonsense. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's
And there's
fine.
no. We've been debating. We debated all last night. We debated like I don't know for maybe 30 minutes, 30 45 minutes today, and you haven't convinced me any more towards it. You pushed me away from the idea. Is what I'm getting from
Fine. It might be so.
it. So
But You don't know.
I gave what I did. All I did, right, is I gave my definition, right, of ethics, right, and I disproved your point from my standpoint of the vanilla ice cream preference thing. Okay, I said you said me thinking murder is wrong and not doing murder isn't ethics. And the definition of ethics, I'll say it again. I'll say it again. The definition of ethics is moral principles that govern a
No,
person's behavior or the conducting of an activity.
that's not
Then
the.
what are
No, no, hold on. That's not the definition. It's a definition, and we already displayed that it's insufficient. It violates many ideas that we went through in this discussion. So it's not a good
what
definition.
ideas does it violate? What ideas does it violate? Okay, so I'm using this. Okay, you said that what I'm doing is preference, right? It's not ethics. And a definition of ethics that I'm following, right, are moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. If I think murder is wrong, that's my moral principle, and me not going and stabbing my neighbor to death and not doing the murder is it's that moral principle is governing my behavior. So, what is your definition? I want you to give me a definition. I don't want you to go on a tangent. What is your definition of ethics that contradicts my point?
Stop. Don't don't, don't do that. Let's. You either want.
Why? No, 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 no. I'm just gonna leave. I'm
Fine.
on the verge of leaving. Hey,
Fine.
no, 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 no. I made a point, and I want you to tell me why my point's wrong. That's the whole point we're arguing here, okay? Why is my point wrong? Give me a definition. Give me your definition of ethics, right?
Look, when you speak, sometimes, many times, I want to stop you and correct you, but you never let me. You hardly ever let me.
Why would I? What do you? Okay, no, no. Just answer this.
No,
One question. Just this one question.
no.
Why? Why won't you answer it?
Because
Because you don't have a
because
definition for
no,
ethics.
because when you speak, I try to stop you and correct you. You never let me. You're making this
Why?
discussion very
Why are you correcting me? If it's my opinion, why are you correcting my opinion?
because
Like, are you correcting my
no,
opinion?
as
No, are you? What are you correcting then?
I'm trying. Look, when you speak, I try to stop you and tell you something, and have a discussion about a point that you're
Okay.
making. But you
That
don't
I
listen.
want to
You're not.
discuss. No, 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 no. Listen, listen. I want you to discuss the point. Okay. You made the point. I listened to your point. You made the point that me liking vanilla ice cream is a preference.
Hold on,
That's not ethics, and I
Jim
agree
Bob.
with that.
Jim Bob.
But you also
Jim
no.
Bob.
Wait. Let me finish because I want to.
No,
I'm
no,
telling you what your
no.
point is.
Hold on, Jim Bob.
But that was your point.
Hold
What was your
on.
point then?
No, my point is I want to change how we speak. It's inefficient. As you said, like we're not getting anywhere. Slow down. When I ask
I
you,
want you to answer this
I
because
understand.
okay.
I would hold
But then what was your point? What was your
I
point?
don't I honestly don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember.
If
When
if
you
you're not remembering your points and you're not going to put a trustworthy debate through, then I'm not going to debate you. I'm sorry.
that's your choice. That's fine. Wait, did he leave? Wow.
Dude, he hung in there with you, but like that was some smooth brain shit that you've been talking for the past hour. The only reason I'm not trying to moderate it is because Jim Bob doesn't need help to do what he was doing to you there.
What do you mean?
But like, look, it's very easy to state your premise and then state your for and against. But what you did was gish gallop around a lot of pseudo psychology and like parapsychology and like, how is that useful to anything? Like, what fucking premise are you trying to state?
Um. So my intuition and Jim Bob confirmed it is that he feels that ethics are sewn into the fabric of reality, whatever that means.
I think most people hold that position. It's not Jim Bob's position. It's my position.
That's fine. I was talking to Jim Bob. I'm aware of the fact that many people believe this. Probably almost everyone. Maybe everyone. Almost. Maybe I don't know the statistics. It's not important. I was discussing this with Jim Bob, so it's fine that you also hold this position. My position is that I would say there's no scientific evidence for that. That's an anti-scientific position.
Right, but do you need scientific evidence not to engage in like a wanton orgy of lust and violence on any given street?
Wait, what? I'm sorry. What did you say?
You're expected to hold yourself to a standard of ethics in society because we've asserted that those ethics exist. As you said,
Wait,
almost every single person holding that view is enough to assert it and carry the weight of consequence for your action.
wait. When I say wait, do you mind stopping and letting me? Because you repeated.
I will once I've put a full stop on the sentence that I'm speaking whilst you say wait, sure.
If I ask you to repeat and then again you don't stop, why do you do that? What's the point?
Well, if it's not at the end of my sentence yet, I'm not just going to stop speaking mid sentence because you said stop.
Why? Why not?
Haha.
I'm
Right.
not beholden to you. You're actually
Sure.
beholden to me here in this chat. Like I can mute you at any point if I feel like you're engaging in bad faith.
What?
When you say something, I'm asking you to stop so that I can say something about what you just said. Like you.
Do you not get the concept of waiting for people to finish, bro? Hello?
I didn't say anywhere.
No one's talking to you. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, spiky ball.
You just kick this guy, bro. This kid just did troll.
Bro.
Why are you asking for scientific proof of an ethical argument? I don't understand the
Well,
logic here.
I mean, to claim that the fabric of reality has ethics sewn into it, it, we ran, we have particle accelerators and we know what the fabric of reality is, and there's no ethics as far as science is concerned, as far as modern science, modern physics is concerned. There is no ethics.
Okay, but you're not a group of subatomic particles, right? Like the fact is the social fabric before the reality fabric is where the morals are found to be asserting themselves.
Could you please repeat slower? Let me stop you because I find it difficult to understand what you're saying. Please repeat.
Okay, so you seem to want to reduce things down to atoms, like you want to atomize reality, but what we're living in is a society that is a construct based on morals. So you don't need to go beyond the society where the consequences will find you to infer that, well, because there's no consequences from like the atoms around me, then it doesn't exist. Well, the atoms aren't going to put you in jail.
No, hold on. So again, the disagreement that I have with Jim Bob and apparently with you and others is as follows. You feel that ethics is sewn into the fabric of reality. Now, whatever that means is in contradiction to what we see in particle accelerators. We don't see as part of the fabric.
Yeah, look, but
Mhm.
the point that I'm making is that's all well and good, but it doesn't matter because the morals and the ethics are sewn into the fabric of society before we can assert that they're in some kind of baseline reality. It's the society that we're living in.
So, in that case, you would agree that the ethics of humans is similar to the ethics of amoebas. Just like amoebas have patterns of behavior between themselves, so do humans.
No, you just jumped from a statement that I made, which is observable, to a hypothetical that's not observable.
What is not observable of what I said?
Anything that a bacteria apparently thinks is not
I
observable.
didn't say how it thinks. I said bacteria behave in a certain way towards each other. There's There's a fabric. You could say that there is an ethics as sewn into the fabric of society of amoebas. Just like you would say there is ethics sewn into the fabric.
Amoebas don't have a fucking society, though, do they?
What do you mean they don't? I mean, of course.
Look, you can't just overlay this baseline reality notion that you atomize every other thing onto. Like, not everything renders itself onto this chemical soup that you're saying doesn't have any properties whatsoever other than being chemical soup. Fair enough, man, but my brain's not just chemical soup that exists for a purpose, for me to use it to determine what I think morals and ethics are, so I can walk around and not horribly offend people to the point where they're going to take my life or incarcerate me.
Hold on. You said that this mapping, you don't like the mapping, but this mapping, this is the scientific method that, modern science has very successfully mapped reality onto atoms, subatomic particles, and chemistry and biology, and sociology, and everything is explained very neatly, very mechanically. And
Was Jim Bob's argument not a theist argument though,
yes,
which is religion? Yeah.
yes, but not necessarily, because
I mean, first of all of these arguments that you're making are arguments that relate to consciousness, and consciousness has not been quantified by science. So, like, how can you atomize things that relate purely to consciousness and what consciousness does?
What do you? Wait. We never discussed.
I'm saying you can't render something into its composite parts if we don't know what the composite parts of consciousness is.
Wait, but we, of course, we do. Modern science.
But see, that's the thing. You obviously have never actually studied psychology. You've read a few articles about it. On day one of psychological study, they will tell you there is no scientific consensus on what consciousness is, where it comes from, how to find it, where it goes when you die or go to sleep.
We know. We looked into the brain. We looked into particle accelerators. We know everything is composed of atoms. And we looked into the brain. We know it's composed of cells. And
yeah, but that's not sufficient to explain consciousness. And if you understood a thing about the scientific consensus, you'd know that this qualifies the basis for your argument to atomize everything that exists.
Wait, so I don't understand. You agree that reality is composed of atomic and subatomic particles, nothing else, right?
No, I didn't agree to that.
So what else?
You're stating that repeatedly, but I'm saying what that's doing is atomizing things that don't seem to obey those physical laws to begin with, like the consciousness that's operating your brain right now.
The consciousness is just interaction of neurons. We looked into the brain. We know.
No, it's not. See, that's the thing. You're atomizing it again, and you have no idea what the actual consensus in the scientific world community is. This is like ratified stuff that they teach you on day one of Psych 101. Literally, the worldwide standard for psychology and psychiatry is acknowledgement of this fact, which you're glossing over in order to atomize everything that it does.
Wait, hold on. So you agree or disagree that the reality is atomized? Is there anything that we're composed of besides subatomic particles, according to you?
It doesn't matter whether or not I can say that definitively. What's indicated is that we cannot quantify the thing that you're asserting can be atomized.
Wait, yes or no? What is reality composed of? Subatomic particles or anything else?
Yeah, it's not a yes or no, and this isn't a courtroom, and you don't get to act like a lawyer.
Wait, what? What?
I object.
You just said scientific consensus. Do you think the scientific consensus is that there is anything else that reality is composed of besides elementary particles?
I can repeat it one more time, and then I'm going to give the reins to somebody else to engage with your smooth-brained arguments. All right? The consensus is that consciousness has not been quantified by science. So how can you atomize something that's not quantified?
Right. What the hell?
Okay, I think at this point we are in a cycle. So you're not you.
Yeah, well, like Jim was a lot more patient with you, and he was willing to listen to like all of your rationalities and then try to find some place that it relates to. But I'm just skipping over all that and getting to the heart of your argument, which is that morality is a function of consciousness, and if consciousness can be quantified, then it can be atomized, and because everything can be atomized, none of it's essentially real and it's all mechanical, right? But none of these premises are true because we haven't quantified consciousness.
Wait, before we go to consciousness, we were discussing, right, the original contention between me and Jim Bob and between me and you is nothing to do with consciousness. It's is ethic sewn into the fabric of reality?
Okay, but if that's a good enough argument for you to make, then why isn't it good enough for you to say, well, hold on, don't go to baseline reality when it's sewn into the social fabric, not the substrate of the universe?
Right. If you think so, so then we went to the fabric of the social the society of amoebas, and I asked, so what's the difference?
Okay, now I'm gonna dip and I'm gonna give the reins to somebody else to talk to you about why amoebas don't need a fucking society. Like your definitions, man, they're just so fucking skewed. You can't just redefine things to make an argument which doesn't even make sense to you. Like I don't believe that you believe what you're saying. That's why I'm not going to engage further with you.
Yeah, Mr. Slave, like making if you say ethics are behavior patterns, you can't just connect every behavior pattern that anything has to ethics and then disprove that theory. I'm just coming back to say that.
Wait, he just came and left. What's going on?
Hi there.
Oh, all right. Who?
How are you?
I don't know, man, but like Jim Bob's like he's got actual shit to do with his life. You know what I mean? He's not sitting here in his late 20s, I assume, trying to make some kind of existentialist philosophy towards whatever the fuck it is you're trying to do. I don't know. Can we talk about veganism and like ignore this guy unless somebody's really, really interested in explaining why amoebas don't have a social model?
I mean,
Yeah, this guy doesn't make any sense. Mr. Slave, can you actually ask a question that can be answered?
I mean, we have a good, clear disagreement. The question is, are ethics sewn into the fabric of reality? You people seem to all agree that yes, and I think that's an anti-scientific claim. So then you say, yeah, but it's sewn into the fabric of society. So then I said, fine, if that's
I have a question.
that's ethics. You have a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are you arguing what I would usually argue? Basically, you don't have moral inherency, whether like murder is actually right or wrong.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
It's even deeper.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, it's even
I agree.
deeper. I mean, there are no ethics. This universe is heartless. And the way we behave that looks like ethics, that's just an optimization. It's basically virtue signaling, but it's just an optimization.
It's only heartless when you atomize your heart. Yeah? When you disintegrate the actual connections between the parts of your brain that connect to the nerves in your heart that make you feel an emotion, if you rip all that apart, it's going to mean nothing, sure.
No, I can build.
No, but no. What he's saying is like philosophically speaking, if we have a society that has murder wrong, SA wrong, stealing wrong, how do they know these things are actually inherently wrong and are not to be as subjective? He's basically
Well, this
arguing
is the
whether
problem.
morals are
This is the
subjective
problem
or
with
not.
his argument. He's trying to use scientific arguments to prove philosophical points. Choose one or the other and stay in that realm, because otherwise, like your standards and your definitions are going to clash with each other.
Wait,
If we're arguing, wait, Mr. Slave, are you Christian?
hold on. Let me just say. So
Like,
you're
I'm just
agreeing that your claim that ethics is sewn into the fabric of reality is anti-scientific. If you're saying these two realms cannot live together, that's fine. You're agreeing that your ethics are anti-scientific, which I'm fine with. I mean, there's nothing superior.
I didn't say they're mutually exclusive. I said it doesn't serve one to try to use one to disprove the other. You can use one to try to disprove a specific claim made inside of one of those areas, but otherwise, it's like trying to use Chinese to disprove something that only exists in English, right? There's just no point in engaging in this manner.
So, like, I'm curious, Mr. Slave, did you bring up morals, like, to argue a religious thing? Or that's usually the only reason I bring up morals, so I'm just asking, I don't know. Like, what was the base argument?
No, I think I think they said that they're like an anti-realist. They think that like universe is like moralless or whatever.
Right.
Oh.
This, my
Yeah,
opinion
I mean-
is that this universe is amoral. I am an amoral egoist.
Yeah.
And I feel that being an amoral egoist is the optimal way to live, and I recommend to everyone to do it. It's the true way. It's the way of the truth. And if you believe otherwise, you live alone.
What? Yeah.
If
It's
you
funny because like if you think
if you believe
it's
otherwise,
funny because like you say like this is like the way you should live, which is like an odd statement.
I
It's
didn't
funny like
say-
what you're doing there.
I didn't say it's hard.
Oh wait, you're saying like you subjectively think that like people should live
No.
the way you subjectively view the world or whatever. Okay,
No.
I get it.
No, I didn't
Actually,
say that. No,
probably-
I said
Sorry.
I recommend living. I mean, if you follow my belief, then it would give you. It's a mathematical prediction. It would give you a happier life, an optimal life. If you believe that ethics are sewn into the fabric of reality, then you are living a life of lies.
Well, do you think that consciousness is? Do you think that like consciousness and like minds are like woven into the fabrics of reality?
No, that also would be anti-scientific. We know what the fabric of reality.
You don't think that like minds are like physical?
Minds are physical. We took.
Well, how is
minds-
physical not like reality?
What the hell is
What?
mind
What's the
physical?
question?
Oh yeah, the mind is absolutely physical. It's just like a bunch of chemical reactions happening, like neurons firing and shit. Like everything is pretty much physical. It's a physical universe we're living in.
Yeah.
We are just
Well,
physical
yeah.
beings.
Yeah.
I meant like when we're thinking, like what we.
Yeah,
what we
when you're
think is-
thinking, like this, like experience of thinking is just like a bunch of like processes, electrical processes, like neurons firing, like chemical reactions,
Yeah, he's
shit like that. Like it's all gonna be subject to the laws of physics.
Right, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm describing
make
like what we see, like what we see in our head, versus because like I
Yeah,
know
that's
that the
also,
nerves
like,
and
physical.
chemicals.
What?
That's
Well,
also
I have a
physical.
question. Real quick, can anyone create a custom VC for the Christians here? Because it seems in chat of this
There already
VC,
is one.
we're having like a debate here, and I want to decimate the Muslim in the call because it's bothering me that they're just saying Jesus didn't get born. Like, I will deconstruct your entire faith and rebuild it back up.
Defender, just DM them.
You could invite them to the like the Christian room.
Are they even in the call?
Is there not?
I can't start a Christian VC unless like the moderator opens it. It's locked. It's a hidden voice channel.
Oh, it's locked?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a locked voice channel. I mean, I would love to be Christian mod.
Hold on.
VC mod. It would be so based.
You want me to open it for you?
That would be
Hold on,
very
hold
nice
on,
of
hold
you.
on. Wait, hold on.
He got unmuted.
I think I might not be able to.
Oh wait, he is in the VC. It's this guy.
He
His
is,
server
and I just
muted.
unmuted him. He has to be unmuted.
Oh, Taliban lover.
Wait, we
Unmute.
were talking about something though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay, Taliban.
You guys could go to another like VC. There's like social chats you guys can go to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm wondering. So I think so. If ethics don't exist, then you cannot have veganism because veganism, by definition, is ethical. So if ethics,
Veganism exists, therefore ethics exist.
well, if veganism depends on ethics and ethics don't exist, then veganism is false. There cannot be veganism.
No one said they
See,
don't
but
exist.
you're
Yeah,
yet to
I think
prove
you're.
that ethics don't exist. What you're proving is that atoms exist and that atoms don't have ethics. Well, fair enough. I mean, that's a claim. It seems logical to assert, but it's actually not even provable on that basis. So, like, what's the
think-
basis you're trying to say ethics don't exist because atoms do?
I think Mr. Slave's point is that like ethics might exist. Like I think he's trying to say that like abstract like concepts don't exist except for like in our minds or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like things man, give me an example of something abstract. Oh, like numbers, math and stuff.
Numbers are where we started. Actually, his original claim was that you can't prove that the number one exists.
Yeah, that I actually don't disagree with that. Like, I mean, how would you prove that? Like,
Well, I mean, you're still an individual. Whether or not you want to have a way to quantify what being an individual is, you're still an individuated part of human sentience.
can I just say that like the number one exists like within my mind as an abstract concept. Like the concept exists as like some sort of a chemical reaction, some sort of like I don't know process of my brain.
It's a pattern that your brain is a pattern discovering machine. So you've discovered the
Yeah.
pattern of one repeating and the pattern of two and three and so on. It's just a pattern that you
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, but wait, would you say that like exists in reality though? Like,
no.
Like I feel like that it does. Like even though like my experience is exists in reality, and my experience is just like the brain processes.
It's just a pattern that seems to be repeating. What is one?
Yes.
But when you actually try to take apart this one, you realize it's an illusion. Give me an example of this one. Show me one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just something we've created to like as a system like of patterns, like you said.
Right, we can actually go through it. So usually people say, well, I'm holding one finger. Okay, but
Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to prove the existence of like abstract objects. Like,
right.
I don't think you can.
Right.
Like that's just why we try to deal in extant phenomena instead of existential phenomena. Because yeah, existentialism is hard to prove, but we live in an extant reality, not an existential reality. Otherwise, yeah, like everything would be a dream, and you could freely script the rules for the dream as you can in the dream state. But this is waking life.
I'm not familiar with the terminology existential versus extent. Could you explain?
Something that's extant means you can point to it, it physically exists. Something that's existential means it may exist because it's a concept.
Well, the fact that you can point to something doesn't mean that it exists. It could be an illusion.
Look, like an extant threat to your country, right? Is the idea that Russia has nukes and they're pointing them at you. An existential threat is that racism might motivate them to push the button.
Right, but we're not discussing right. We're discussing truth. We don't know that what is Russia. When it comes to truth, Russia is this very amorphous concept. It's just a concept. We don't know that Russia exists.
Right.
Russia
So, like,
exists.
fear of Russians is an existential fear because Russian is an existential notion, right?
Yeah, but
But the
Russia.
methods by which a existential Russian would kill you, that's an extant threat.
Yeah, but we don't know that Russia exists. Russia exists as a concept in our minds. We don't know that there is a real Russia. As far as I'm concerned, it's an illusion. There is no real Russia. What is Russia? There's no Russia.
Dude, the only time I've ever thought like you is when I was on DMT.
Well,
Yeah.
what is then?
It's
Explain
like
to me.
he's thinking so
Then
hard to
define.
try and
Then define
debunk it.
Russia. How do you define Russia?
Define your name.
Well, I would. You're siding with me, right? These things are amorphous. Anytime you try to start, you know, picking it apart,
They're
it turns
they're
into
human concepts.
gas. It disappears between your fingers every time. Like when you actually try to analyze what is Russia, what is it? I mean, yeah, it's some macro illusion, some macro phenomenon. But when you go, can you put Russia under a microscope and see it? Can you put Russia in a particle accelerator and see it? No. Russia is a
You
macro
can't put a
social
lot of
phenomenon.
things under a microscope.
What?
You can't put a lot of things under a microscope, I'm assuming.
Fine. So it's okay to define, right? Russia you could define as a macro social phenomenon, a historic phenomenon. Yeah, fine. But we're not dealing with that. That's not interesting. We're dealing with the fabric of reality. What is reality? Is ethics sewn into the fabric of reality, or is it just a social phenomenon, just like amoebas and cats and dogs have social phenomenon?
Well, okay. Are you asking is veganism as tangible as Russia?
I'm not asking. I claim that ethics don't exist besides being a macro social phenomenon. So ethics don't exist as part of the
Hello?
fabric of reality. Therefore, veganism
Wait.
doesn't exist besides being a nice macro social phenomenon. Veganism is not. I mean, it's nothing besides a social phenomenon, just like language, just like Russia. It's just a social phenomenon.
I don't understand what you're getting at.
Yeah, I mean, I just agree. Like, doesn't mean like these social phenomenons aren't like useful or should be used or anything like that. I don't know.
Okay, I didn't say I didn't.
It's not something like it's not something that like, yeah, it's not like something people like. It doesn't. It's not like some like, oh my god, like it doesn't exist. Therefore, like,
Social
I can just like eat animals or something. You know, like.
Look, I'm not judging the benefit of a social phenomenon. I mean, Russia, the social phenomenon known as Russia, has benefit to certain people and detriment to other people. The social phenomenon of veganism has benefits to certain people and detriments to other people. Like the social phenomenon of the English language, the social phenomenon of math, all these social phenomenons, fine. They have their benefits and their detriments to the universe. But these are just social phenomena,
Mm,
just like
can you give me an example of how like? Can you give me an
Okay.
example of how it would be a detriment to the universe?
what Russia?
No, like
No,
social
veganism.
concepts, stuff like that. Veganism. How would it have like
I mean, let's take Russia as a social phenomenon. It benefits.
yeah.
Let's say Putin is benefited by the social phenomenon of Russia, and Zelensky is hurt by the social phenomenon known as Russia.
Okay, let's take a harder one. Let's take veganism. How does veganism have like a detriment to like certain populations or something? I don't know.
I would claim,
Or the universe, you said.
yeah. So, veganism, you could say, makes certain vegans happy knowing that they're part of a group and they have it's a social network. It's a social, just like Russia, it's a social network, it's a social phenomenon. But it might end up, but let's say, because let's say the vegans will take over the universe and there will be no more cows. So you could say it's to the detriment of the cow species. The species known as the cow.
I don't know if like the entailments of like being vegan means like we're deleting cows from the universe, but
Let's say it is. I mean,
okay. If it was, then yeah, sure, it would be detrimental to them. Yeah.
I mean, if you define the
I just don't think that is. Yeah, I think that like we could probably construct it in a way that like wouldn't be detrimental to like anything.
fine.
Maybe.
Sure, fine. But there's nothing.
Hey, Mr. Slay,
Hmm.
are you vegan?
No, I'm anti-vegan.
Okay. Who's all vegan in this group chat call right now?
Yeah, bro.
Would say
you're
I'm
anti-vegan?
vegan.
That's how I know who is. That's all I'm
You're
asking.
anti-vegan?
Yes, I'm anti-vegan.
You think
Yeah,
people should
that's-
not be vegan? Like, you think that like being vegan?
It's suboptimal.
What is it? What does it mean to be anti-vegan? Like, can you explain
Those
that to me?
guys are very bad.
It means you're against veganism. You're against like compassion to animals.
No, I'm compassionate. No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying veganism is suboptimal. If we compare a vegan universe to an anti-vegan,
Oh, okay.
so the vegan universe is suboptimal compared to the anti-vegan universe.
I'm really curious what the argument for this is going to be.
Same.
So
Just letting everyone know you're being recorded on a live stream.
yeah.
I
Here,
know.
let me share the link.
Hi, live stream. Hi, live stream.
It's funny when I go back and watch.
Mr. Slave's live stream.
That's fine. I don't care.
Let me paste the link so you can all go and watch.
Probably we want to watch ourselves echo.
Yeah.
Good point, Jim Bob.
follow you.
So the argument is that let's say, so a vegan in a vegan universe, there's no right. There's no reason to have cows. I mean, you ask.
What's the? Yeah, I disagree with that. I'm actually not gonna concede on that point.
He's under the impression, he made the point yesterday, that all vegans would rather the cows not exist at all than them exist but not be tortured. And he'd never backed that up.
Wait a minute. You can. You'd rather, as a cow, be born into a farm rather than not be born at all or be born into nature. Jim Bob.
No, because yesterday you changed it, right? We disagreed on the scenario, so you changed it up again, and I said that I'd rather disappear back into the universe. If I've already been born, what you said, right? You said to me that if you were born as a cow and the gods came in front of you and said, would you rather live a life but you would die maybe a painful long death, right? Or would you but you'll like live, you'll be free roaming, right? Or just disappear now back into just like disappear, don't exist anymore, right? And I said my final answer to that was I would just disappear, because as a cow, right, then, like without all the hypothetical things that you bring into all of these situations, right, that I would just rather disappear, because I have no idea what going outside and being with a human or being with blah blah blah
Hey,
is.
Bob, let me ask you this. So let's have a different scenario. So let's say aliens come and they humans. They give you a choice. You could live as a human, a full, plentiful life, at the end of which they shoot you and eat you.
Is it painful and is it long? And is it like what they do in the industry?
Just like how they kill cows today. They
Okay.
fire something into
Various
the brain.
ways.
Excuse me?
There's various ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say they choose the most painless way they can, the most humane way they can to kill you and eat you.
Okay,
That's
but if it's okay, like I'm gonna interrupt for like 1 second here.
Mm.
If we're relating this to animals, then making it humane completely destroys the connection because they don't kill animals
Hold
humanely.
on.
Around 99% of farms in the world,
Hold
which still leaves a big margin for farms who maybe could kill them more humanely,
Okay,
right?
hold
But
on.
around 99% of farms in the world, just let me finish real quick. Kill
So,
cows with stun
I
guns and
didn't
split their throats, let them bleed out, and all those nasty methods.
So the question is,
Whose background is that?
The Russian dude.
You too.
so the question is, so two, let's say two options. One is to be born into a human farm where you will live a very happy life, a very fulfilling life
Hey, Bossman.
as a human.
Hey, good.
After, let's say,
There you are.
30
Let's go.
years, everybody,
Someone got DoorDash.
after 30
No
years,
one's
let's say,
gonna mute your mics.
happy life.
You don't own the room, Mr. Slave. But continue.
So after 30 years, let's say, you will then be shot, killed as humanely as possible, and eaten by the aliens. That's one option. Option two is you can go live a life in nature where you will die as everyone dies in nature, a very gruesome death. Either you'll be hunted and eaten by lions or alligators that will rip you to shreds.
This guy just said alligators. That's crazy.
In this this hypothetical situation, I'd obviously choose that, but I don't know how that relates to the animal situation.
Wait, so
you're
you
talking
would choose the first one, right? You would rather be born into a farm.
Yeah, well, if it's gonna be humane, yeah, that's obvious. I don't know, unless you're insane. I don't know who would be like, oh yeah, I'd like to experience a pain, so I could die. So would you? Basically, what you're asking is, would you rather live long and just die like painlessly, or would you rather live?
I'll give you.
You don't know how long you're
I'll
gonna
give
live
you.
and be like killed brutally.
I'll give you a third.
Who would not pick the first option?
I'll give you a third option.
Okay.
Third option, not to be born at all.
Third option.
You would rather do the third?
Yeah, I don't have to endure
But
anything.
how can you control the third option?
Hey, same.
Yeah, okay, so when you're looking at this third option, right, you're thinking like, oh, how would this person live, right? How would this person exist without doing all this stuff, without enjoying, right? Why would they rather do this? Well, if I just disappear, I disappear completely, and my consciousness disappears as well. I just fade away. I don't exist.
Hey, Jimbo, can I just put something in there? I'm not
What?
going against somebody. Okay, so if you just say you pick the third option, let's just say your mother is pregnant with you, for example. You say you don't want to be in this world. So you're telling me you gotta let your mom do abortion and kill you?
So, but I don't exist anymore, so I can't feel emotions. I have no
still,
consciousness.
you are living inside yourself. So that means you're gonna kill yourself.
No, he's like not even gonna exist to begin with.
I'm not going to exist to begin
Yeah.
with. I don't understand your point here. I'm not killing myself. I'm just disappearing from reality. If you kill yourself, if you kill yourself, you still exist, right? I'm going to bring suicidal themes in this. If I take a gun to my head and I shoot myself, I'm dead. But I existed and I still technically exist. My body exists, right? I'm just not there mentally, consciously. I exist in the way that's going to have effect on my family. My family's going to go into grief because they just lost a loved one, right? But if I don't exist at all, my mother didn't have me, never had me, right? If I just don't exist, my mother never had me. She never has to endure me. She wasn't expecting me, right? That's what not existing means.
But she never would have enjoyed having you. Doesn't your mom love you?
And
Doesn't your
Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. Why does it matter to me? I don't exist. It's not like
Wait,
I don't have
you don't
ethics. I
kill
don't
your
have
mom,
morals.
Doug?
So this is
You don't
making,
kill your mom?
and go ahead.
Well, this doesn't really apply to me.
it could be someone else that she has though.
It doesn't matter. She could have someone else. I
Yeah,
don't
there we
understand.
go.
If I do not exist, why do I care? If I don't exist, if I don't have a conscious state, if I'm not conscious, if I'm not going to be able to feel emotions toward these people, if I'm not going to be able to be like, oh, well, now my mom's going to be sad she didn't have me, I won't do that because I don't exist.
But
I don't
what
exist.
about the life that you missed? I mean, this entire life, it's so much fun.
I don't know about the life that I missed. I just,
No, but now
as a baby in my mother's
now
womb,
you do. Now I give you the choice. You know that life is so much fun.
To suffer?
I don't want to suffer. Like my life is suffering every day, right?
Right.
I find the joy in little things. I'm still suffering every day of my life.
Okay, but you're young. One
It's
day
the
you
cruel reality we live in.
right, but one day you will leave and you'll get a job and you'll get a wife and you'll have children. You'll have a beautiful family and you'll be wealthy.
You don't know that. You don't know that. I could get hit by a car tomorrow and die.
Right, but
you don't know that.
fine, fine. But you know, you're a bright kid. I mean, you have a bright future. Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
What's his bright future?
I hope. Yeah.
He goes
How you
so
gonna
much
predict
like
the future?
Christopher Walken, bro.
You don't know if he's gonna have a perfect life.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't even know
It's
anything
Yeah.
about
probability.
Jim Bob.
You're gonna need
You
like
don't know,
one
you
of
don't know
those
anything
like
about her. You don't know my name. You don't know
Matushka
my
brains or
living
whatever.
situation. You don't know where I live. You don't know what I experience every day.
Hold on, Jim Bob. I mean, don't you enjoy? Are you not enjoying this conversation?
Not really. No.
Then why are you here?
I don't know.
Wait,
Because I can be
Maybe
here.
he's
no, that doesn't make
maybe
any
he's here to hang
sense.
with like
No,
social.
no, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, are you forced to
You
be
can
here?
have a conversation and not enjoy it. Like I don't. You don't have to love a conversation.
If my parent gets mugged and killed in an alley, and I'm talking to the police, I'm telling if I was there, I witnessed it, right? If I'm talking to the police about how this guy grabbed my dad by his throat, started slashing him with his whatever pocket knife, right? I'm not going to enjoy telling him that, but I know I need to tell him that so they can get the guy and they can arrest him. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to enjoy that conversation.
Right.
Is there anything else you'd rather do than be here?
I don't know. I don't have
A lot of
anything to do
things.
today.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I'd rather be doing than like having to advocate that people don't stab animals in the throat.
Yeah,
I
but
really would
it's
prefer
the right
not
thing
like
to
being
do.
a vegan activist, but the thing is like
I mean,
I feel like a moral obligation to be
If
because
the
like
right thing, if
people
doing
do
the right,
things that are just like fucking evil as
yeah,
hell.
if the right thing is standing up for what's right, but it's gonna bring me down, right? If in the process of standing up for what is right, I'm gonna be bullied, I'm gonna be shunned, right? I'm not gonna enjoy that. I could do better things. I could fit in with society, right? But I'm gonna do what's right because I know it's right.
And a lot of vegans, it haunts our brains, like about animal abuse, because we have to like, we've seen that kind of thing doing activism.
It's really
It haunts my brain every day. I mean, holy shit. I wish I didn't.
you wish you didn't.
Yeah, that's definitely something.
No,
No,
I said I wish
Nope.
Nope.
That's not what we were getting
Mr.
at.
Slave, Mr. Slave, we got up back
No,
here.
did
No,
not
we
walk
would
in.
just rather be living lives of fulfillment and like pleasure, like
And
infinite
not
pleasure,
worry.
rather than not fucking have to like stand up against these evil people that exist. Like
And like
it sucks.
have in our mind like that people are abusing animals, whether it's slaughterhouses or like just for pleasure, like sadisms or zoo sadist people. I had to do some research on zoo sadist people, and holy shit.
So,
But
Mr.
where's Zeus
Slave,
Sadist? Where's Zeus
It's
Mr. Slave, I'd
it's
like to get. Sorry, Toph, continue.
it's zoo sadist in like a nutshell, because I want to hear the conversation what Jim Bob had to say. It's basically sadist people who take either sexual or just gratification, either sexual or not, towards animals.
No.
Like non-human animals.
No.
So
No. That's impossible.
Oh, you're
Mr.
talking about like
Slave,
zoophiles.
what do you mean
Mr.
that's
Slave,
impossible? Wait a minute, hold on a moment.
Mr. Slave, can we get back to the point at hand? Can we get
How
back
the
to the
fuck is that shit
conversation?
impossible?
Because everyone that works in farms, even the worst farms, they still have dogs and cats. They still have emotions and
Yeah,
No,
you
they
can have
don't.
that and still be a zoo sadist. But also, I'm not only talking about slaughterhouses. I'm talking about people who literally take stray dogs and take stray cats and literally get hired to kill them in the most brutal ways on video, and people literally enjoy that.
but these people
That's an
Yeah, that's
example
China
too.
for you.
fine.
That's
Sometimes
China for
It's
you.
not only in
Could be,
China. That's not only in China.
Yeah,
could
see,
be.
the thing is
It
like,
doesn't
yeah,
happen in
people are
America.
born with all sorts of like mental stuff. Like people get
Yeah.
enjoyment out of like,
no,
yeah, hurting others and
So
stuff.
not true.
Yeah,
That's not
if you don't believe
it is true. It is
It is
highly
Wait, then
true.
documented.
if you don't think that's true, I'm just gonna say that you're probably living like in a fantasy world.
It is
Mr.
highly
Slade,
documented.
no.
It
Listen,
is highly documented.
no, I don't disagree.
No,
I'm not disagreeing. You gotta let me say what I mean.
you did though.
Yeah, just let him
Mr.
stay.
Slade,
Let him
Mr.
stay.
Slade, do you
Let him
think it's
stay.
bad? Mr. Slade, do you think it's bad?
What's bad?
No,
You
he
think what
doesn't
they do?
believe in morals, dude. He doesn't believe in good and
No,
bad. So
no. I love
take a point of
Aw.
question.
I love animals, but I eat an animal. I'm not happy that the animal had to suffer and die so that I can eat. Um, uh,
Oh, I'm not calling you a zoo sadist.
That's a good
Can we
start.
shift back to the topic at hand?
but I support this
Okay, hold
inquiry.
on.
So I'm that person that you call so evil. I'm that. I don't do it because
I just want
No,
to say
zoo
something.
sadism
Like,
is a specific thing.
can we get like one person talking to him at a time? Because it's getting like to be like all over the place right now.
Can we, Mr. Slave?
Sorry.
I wanna go back to the
No, it's
point
not just. It's not Utah.
I want to go back to the point of what we were talking about, the alien thing. Okay, what are you trying point were you trying to make there in the human life I can choose, right? Why would you think it's like bad for me to choose
Hello.
not to exist in that situation?
Shut your bitch ass up.
I
The
don't really
daddy's here. Daddy is here.
I was expecting
Gross.
you to decide that living a good life and then dying and being eaten is preferable to not having lived at all. And if you say,
Well, I could potentially feel that pleasure, but if I'm a baby, right, and I have no idea what that is, right? Why wouldn't I
I was
just not exist
paraphrasing
and not
Shakespeare.
experience
but that's
any
not the
torment?
hypothetical. I'm saying now that you know how great life is, like,
Yeah.
what's your choice? Not assuming you
Not existing. I feel like not existing and being just disappear is better, right?
but you don't choose right now to end your life.
Yeah, because that's not stopping existing. That's just passing my pain on to everyone else around me.
Let's say you were a loner, no one would know you.
No one would know me. I wouldn't end my life because I'm experiencing it, right? If I had not lived my life yet, right? If I was at the beginning of my life and I had the choice to not exist, not kill myself, just disappear, I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't
Let's say I
exist.
can offer you to disappear right now. Would you choose that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, then why aren't you doing it? Because
Because I can't. It's not physically possible for me to stop existing. I can't snap my fingers and stop existing. Mentally, I can, but not physically. The
So
pain that
if
I'm
you were
passing on from
okay, if you were
suicide to people around me is still existing.
so if you
It's
were
me living on.
if you were a
Careful about the subject matter, please, everyone.
okay, if you were a loner,
We're bordering the subject matter fucking line.
okay, I have
Can we change?
I'm just trying to answer the question, Virtual.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
mean, I
trying to do.
Can we?
I just yeah, I know. I know. It's just
It's
like
just be the
you
president.
can't be talking like about self-harm stuff.
we know.
Well,
Yeah, it's
that's what he's asking me.
I
Basically.
know. I know. It's I know.
So
Like I'd love to hear the thing, and I don't necessarily care, but it's just I think it's against like the rules.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, I want Jim Bob's life to be amazing. That's why I'm trying to convince him.
Jim Bob.
Yeah. You were trying to make an argument that like being an anti-vegan was going to be a better world than a vegan world. So what's the argument for that?
We're going through the steps. And part of it is I'm confused. According to him, if his life is so difficult, I mean, I'm trying to prove. Well, his life is not so difficult. That's my claim.
if I could disappear, if I could stop existing, if every trace of me left on this earth in this universe disappeared, no connections. It's not like there's a difference between me stopping stopping living, right, and affecting people around me. I'm still existing in a sense. I'm talking completely existing. Everything I've done, right?
Okay, let me
If
ask.
the
Understand.
keyboard I bought for my setup would return to the store because I never bought it. That's
Fine.
the
I
sense I'm
understand.
talking about.
I understand. I
Stopping
understand. I
existence.
understand.
Yes,
The
it's
question
true.
is, the question is, Jim Bob. But do you think that other people are having like such a bad day, like you, or do you think
I
other
have no
people
idea. I have no idea
really,
what LK's experiencing right now.
really,
No, I don't.
everyone?
I don't have any idea what LK is
Come
experiencing right
on,
now. For
you
example,
see people walking around having
Playing
great
Minecraft.
lives. They have beautiful homes, beautiful wives, husbands, children. Most people
I don't
have.
know they're not sad. I don't know they're not depressed. Maybe they hate their life. I don't know.
No, we know. We have statistics. I mean, most
We
people
don't.
have.
Statistics isn't what a person thinks. Okay.
What do you mean? People share their thoughts, and in studies,
Yeah,
we
I'm
know.
sure they do, right?
Right. So
But
some
but
people.
I don't. In general, I don't see. Maybe right. I see a rich guy in the street, right? He gets into his Lamborghini with
Fine,
his
but
hot girlfriend, right?
yeah.
And I think, oh, he must have a great life. But maybe his life is terrible. Maybe he's just like
But we
he
know
wipes his tears with his money.
fine, but we
Right?
know statistically, a lot of people have very nice lives. So
But that's not
Says
everyone.
who? What are you talking about?
no. Okay, I don't know. I mean,
I think the point that Mr. Slave's trying to make is that like living in a time where our well-being level is like at the highest it's probably ever been in like human history.
Okay. So this is my final answer. If you could give me the option now to
Oh.
stop existing completely, erase every trace of me ever existing from the universe, just completely stop existing, I'd pick that. But I can't. I can't pick it.
if you could destroy all life in the universe, would you do it?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Why would I want to destroy all
If you
life in the
could end
universe?
all life in the universe at like a Thanos snap, would you do it?
No,
Why not?
because
And
I
the
don't want to
suffering.
take. I don't want to take away what other. I don't know. LK could be the most happy person, and like I'm just gonna use you as an example. Okay. You could be the
Okay.
most happy person in the world. You could enjoy life. You could think you're suffering is a
Okay,
step you're
Jim,
passing through, right?
okay.
I'm not gonna take. I'll take away from me, right? But I'm not gonna take away from everyone.
Sure.
You just said that most of people don't feel good.
So,
What good? What good?
Jim,
Okay.
It's an interesting thought experiment, you know.
Jim Bob, if you could Thanos snap away a cow in the field, would you do it?
No, because I'm not that cow. I'm not choosing to. Is the cow gonna die like a horrible death?
Yeah, but but right now it's happy and it's gonna live for like 10, 20 years before it's killed. And it's really happy with its friends and its humans.
I think that's I don't think that's my decision to make. I think that would be the cow's decision to make.
Yeah.
How is even no
I really
notice?
agree with
And you
that.
can't associate this with real life because in real life I can't choose to Thanos snap a cow way out of existence. I can kill the cow, but I can't do that.
You can't unborn something.
If it's like making it not
That's
exist,
not what
right?
my mother said.
You can kill the cow. Can be.
Like, I
That's my
birthed you.
final
I'll
answer to
send
that
you back to
question, Mr.
where you
Slave.
came from.
Because Mr.
Right.
Slave, are you gonna keep
My mother.
asking me this question until I give you the answer I want, or no?
Take you to Planned Parenthood.
Yes, give us the answer.
Because I gave you my answer already, Mr. Slave.
We're going on a little field trip.
I feel like I'm in the last chapter of 1984. If anybody's ever read that.
What
Yeah, I
happens
used
in
to
the
have it
last
on the
chapter?
bedside.
Okay, so the guy says to Winston, he says, "How many fingers am I holding up, Winston?" And he's holding up 4 fingers. So Winston says 4 fingers. And he says, "Well, what if the company tells you that it's only 3?" And he says, "Well, it's still 4." And he says, "Yes, Winston, but I'm going to torture you until you agree that it's 3 fingers."
Yeah.
Yep. So, Mr. Slave, what's your argument to this? Because you've been quiet after I said that.
It's okay, baby. Are you spooked? Are you okay?
So I mean, you're confusing me. You're giving me contradicting.
How am I confusing you by giving you my answer? You asked me a question, I
It's
answered it. That's
it
okay.
might be your answer, but to me I see contradictions. I'm trying to.
Okay, then give me those contradictions. You haven't. What are your contradictions to my answer? What do you think's wrong about that? Tell me.
I mean, you wouldn't. I don't understand why you wouldn't snap away the cow. I don't understand it.
It's
According
not
to
my
you,
decision to make.
I don't know what that means. Let's say I give you the decision to make. It's now in this hypothetical, it's yours.
Well, if the cow would just stop existing completely, right? If the cow would stop existing completely, then I'd remove every trace of it ever existing. Therefore, you wouldn't have asked me the question in the first place, and it would create a
No,
paradox.
stop. That's not it. No, no. Right now, it's just gonna disappear. It's gonna stop existing. Its molecules will diffuse into the universe instantaneously.
Does it? Do I know it stopped existing?
Yeah, everybody sees it.
Then it didn't. Then it
Thanos,
didn't stop existing.
just like in
There's something.
Thanos, just like Thanos.
Are you
Everybody.
so? Are you saying it stops existing physically? Because if it stops existing, then I wouldn't know it stops existing.
Yeah,
Because
just like
every
in
trace of
Thanos.
its existence cuts off.
Yeah, just like in Thanos.
Thanos, everybody became dust. They turned slowly within a second.
Physically, but Thanos knew they became dust. Thanos was like, "Oh, I just made all those people disappear." He just made them disappear physically.
Everybody saw
Stop
them
existing
turning
physically.
into dust. Would you do it?
Physically,
Yeah.
they didn't stop existing in every sense.
Would Thanos snap away a cow? Yes or no?
No.
Why not?
He's been saying no this whole damn time, dude. You're just pushing.
Yeah, bro.
I said why. It's not my decision to make, and you went down this tangent, right?
Hypothetical, it's your decision to make.
It is my decision to make. I'm not gonna Thanos snap the cow away.
Why
Do
not?
I need to like? Do you need to watch like a Cocomelon episode to understand what I'm saying? I'm confused here. How far do I explain to you? It's not my decision to make. I'm not in the cow. I don't know what the cow's experience.
You're in violation of the rules of the debate. I mean, you're refusing to answer the question.
What?
I'm not. I just answered the question.
I told you the hypothetical. It's your decision to make.
Yeah, okay, then the way. It's my decision to make. And guess what my decision is? Cannot Thanos snap it away.
But you know
why? Because it's not my
Hold on.
decision to make. It's
No.
like, I'm not. I don't
I
know.
think
what
you
the
skipped a
cow's
few
experience
debate classes, buddy.
You okay?
Not you, Jimbo.
If you keep Jim Bob, if you say it's not my decision to
It's on
make,
Channel 5.
you're not
Channel 5.
answering the question. You're refusing to answer the question. You're held in contempt.
I did. I
Wait.
explained why it's not my decision to make.
Jim Bob's saying that he's not like he feels that he's not responsible. When he says he feels that it's not his decision to make, he feels like that decision shouldn't be like given to him. Like
If
he
I
doesn't
was,
mean it literally.
if I was the cow, I would choose to disappear. But I'm not the cow. I don't think it's right for me to choose this, right? And I guess that's technically whatever you said, right?
Jim Bob, you're refusing to answer the question. As long as you contradict.
What the hell?
No.
Motherfucker!
My answer is no. My answer is no, Mr.
So
Slave.
that's
my answer.
That doesn't make sense either because like in
That makes sense.
This cow right now is having a good day, but in 10, 20 years it's gonna get shot.
This cow's having a good day.
And I'm giving you the option to avoid death.
I said I would not Thanos snap the cow away. That is my final answer.
Then you're just like me.
Lock it in.
Then how are we different? You're anti-vegan just like me.
Oh my god.
I'm not anti-vegan.
Yes, you are. That's exactly
This
what
guy
an
is
anti-vegan
impossible.
says. Let the cow enjoy its life, and then let's.
Anti-vegan. What if an anti-vegan says the sky is blue? I also say the sky is blue. Does that make me anti-vegan?
Oh, but this is the essence of anti-veganism.
You said yes.
Exactly.
Yes to the dress.
Hey, Mr. Slave, I'm not avoiding the question. Okay, I said no, and now you're saying I'm anti-vegan because of it, right?
No, you already answered the question. You said I'm not gonna Thanos snap the cow away. So
Yeah,
anti-vegan, just like me. How do
I'm not anti-vegan
Oh my
how are
god.
me and you different then? In this,
because I support veganism and you don't. That's how we're
You
different,
see,
right?
you're not so
I
different, you and I.
my IQ is above room temperature.
in this hypothesis, how are we different? We give
So
the same
hypothesis, we're not different. Okay, you in sure in the hypothesis we're not different, right? We would both not then snap the cow away, but we'd both not do it for different reasons.
No. What do you mean?
What's your reason? Give me your reason. Do you have the same exact reason? Or are you just copying me now? Do you have the same exact reason?
What's the reason? So why would you not stand
I said I don't feel like it's my choice to make. I am not in that cow's consciousness. I don't know what the cow wants.
not
I don't know what the
answering the
cow wants. I
question.
can assume
Then
I
you're
can
not
assume I
answering the
am answering the question.
No, you're not.
Okay, time out.
The question is, the hypothetical is,
Brother.
it's your decision to make.
Okay.
You cannot say it's
going
not
to
my
say this.
decision to make, because then you refuse to answer the question. I hope
I'm confused. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
hold on, hold on.
I'm not literally saying it's not my decision to make. I'm not refusing. I'm saying I feel like I wouldn't do it, right? Because I'm not the cow. I don't know what the cow wants. That's my answer.
so. Because you don't know what the cow wants.
Yep.
Can you
Yeah.
tell? I mean, you look at the cow. The cow is having a good time with its humans, with the dogs, with the puppies, with the other cows,
Do I know
with
that
the
100%
calves.
for sure?
Excuse me.
Sounds like my childhood.
Do I know that for sure?
What-
I'm
you
confused
see-
here.
You see it. You're on the farm. You see the cow having like a very happy life. What seems to be a
You
very
see some people laughing and smiling, and they seem to enjoy life, but on the inside they're very depressed and they hate living. That's not how that works. I don't know what the cow really wants. Okay. I can assume, and I'm assuming that the cow doesn't want to disappear.
Hey,
Does
just
the,
want
does the cow know it's going to be killed in 30 years? Probably not. The cow probably doesn't know that, right? It won't know it until the person who's going to kill it walks up to it with a stun gun in hand, okay? I don't know what the cow wants right now.
Hey, Jimbo.
What?
You remember how you said that you wouldn't be your choice to determine if you can kill yourself or not? You just don't want to exist?
What?
I said, you remember you said earlier you just don't want to exist, but since you exist, you won't kill yourself for it because you're going to hurt your family, whatever?
Yeah, that's not mean. It's ending my life. I'm just going to bring this up, even though Virtual doesn't want me to bring this up again.
No, you have to bring it up. You have to bring it up. I was just trying to say, remember that. Right.
Wait a minute, Jim Bob.
I
So
was
if you
trying to
don't
say-
know,
hold on.
if you don't know what the cow thinks, then why are you vegan?
I'm not vegan.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Want to be vegan?
Bro, vegans are not mind readers. Do you think we're vegan because we can fucking
assume,
read
okay?
them?
But in this is hypothetical. This entire situation is hypothetical. None of this is real. None of this is real. None of this influences anything. In this situation, I'm not going to assume what the cow
I
wants.
can't believe this guy is real.
No, Jim Bob. How do you know cows suffer? How do you know animals suffer?
You can't take my point and just say no to it.
No, the
You
question
love to
is,
say no.
Do you think a normal being would want to die or like to want to get like fucking slit their throat to death?
You
Do
have
you
to
think a random
decide.
person would like?
You have to decide.
The cow
Can-
does not know.
All right.
Well, actually,
Cow
since
doesn't-
people are
Then
suicidal
why,
and just depression,
are you
Do you
vegan?
think?
Then you have no reason to be vegan. Your veganism
I'm not
completely just
vegan.
collapsed.
No, it's not, bro. Your brain is collapsing at this very moment. It's fucking leaking on the floor. I can see it right now.
You have like
goodness
warm
Holy
So, if a cow is having a good day or a bad day, then how do you know the cow is suffering?
Bro, I have a feeling the cow is having a bad day after what it has endured. I feel like it's gonna have a bad day.
Tell that to Jim Bob.
Would you have a good day? Would you have a good day if I told you you were gonna die later? Like a horrible
Hey,
death.
buddy,
Would you have a
you're
good day?
gonna die later. I hope you have a good day.
Yeah, bro, you just die. You're next.
Look, Jim Bob, you're completely contradicting yourself.
So you're not answering the question, huh?
No, he's just contradicting himself.
No, you. I'm talking to you.
You're saying because
What's the
in the
question?
real world, I'm assuming that the cow
I'm
wants
talking
by
to
not
you.
No. Jim Bob, you're in a contradiction. So you said,
I'm about a bucks, man.
Jim Bob, you said, I don't know how the cow feels. Therefore, you cannot know that the cow ever suffers. Therefore, your veganism is gone.
That's
Oh
not
my
how
goodness.
he said it.
This entire
You're
situation was
twisting his
hypothetical.
words.
I just helped
You
Mr. Slade.
you claim that
I
you
just helped
see. If
him.
I show you a cow, you don't know if it's having a good day or a bad
Bro, why
day.
are you pointing fingers? Like,
I don't.
why are you pointing fingers and trying to make stuff that isn't true?
What do you mean? I asked
He
Jim
literally
Bob.
just
I
said,
show you a
Okay,
cow.
would you rather? Would you rather?
Jim
Would you
Bob,
rather
I show
die?
you a cow.
Would you rather die horribly and painfully, or
That's not
just
the
disappear?
question. That's not the question. I asked you. I
But
show
you
you
didn't
a
say that
cow.
earlier, Jim Bob. You never
I
did say that.
asked
You
you.
said
I
that
show
because
you a
the
cow that is having a good day. You said, I don't know if it's having a good day or a bad day. I don't know. Fine. Then your veganism
I
is
don't.
gone. You have no more
How's
veganism.
it gone?
Because
How's it gone?
veganism is about.
You don't care about the cow. You just say you
Russian guy, can you shut up? I'm trying to listen to him speak. Jeez.
What do you mean?
Continue, Mr. Slave.
So according to you, what's wrong with blowing the brains? What's wrong with chopping alive a cow? According to you, you don't know if it's having a good day or a bad
Because
day.
that would make it suffer.
Wait,
Knowing if it's suffering or not's different from knowing if it's having a good day or a
According
bad
to
day.
you, oh my fucking god, why are you talking about him? What about you? What do you think is not okay?
Jim Bob.
Okay, there's a difference between feeling good and feeling pain. Like everything feels pain. Right? If you have nerves, you feel pain. Right? That's how it
Most
works.
people.
I mean, most people, yeah. I mean, there's probably some
But
weird
can you feel
biological disease where
pleasure
you don't.
or only pain?
You can feel both.
We can feel empathy. And that's what veganism is in a nutshell, empathy.
Bob, how do you know? You just said you don't know if the cow is having a good
When you
day.
slice into a cow's neck and it's
How
screaming
do you
and
know?
kicking, right?
Oh,
Do
so
you,
you
are
do
you just
know.
gonna
Oh,
assume it's
so
feeling
if it's
pleasure?
not screaming, can you assume that it's not that it's having a good day?
If it's Mr.
Can we show
Slade,
them? Can
if
we
it's
show them a
standing
video
in
of a cow getting
field,
slaughtered?
If it's standing in a field, I have no idea what it's feeling. But if I'm chopping into its head with a fire axe and it's screaming and it's kicking, and squirming around while it's dripping blood everywhere, I think I'm in the right to assume that it's feeling pain.
How about we show Mr. Slave a video of a cow getting slaughtered?
Okay, Jim Bob.
And see how it is.
If I show you a cow just standing there, not doing anything, maybe it's suffering just like it is when you slaughter it. How do you know that it's not suffering? Why not Thanos snap it away?
Because there's obvious signs, you retard.
Because it's standing in a field, not exhibiting any emotion. If I'm standing, no.
So
If you walk into my house, right,
So
and I'm
you do
standing
know.
in my hallway like
So
a
you
statue,
do
poker
know.
face, do you know
You're
what I'm feeling? No,
contradicting
you
yourself.
don't.
So you do know. You do know how it feels.
I know in certain situations, I don't know 100% right. I can assume with great justification what it's feeling in certain situations.
All right. So me and you we are identical.
No, we're not
Bro,
identical.
you and me, we're not so different, you and I. We're not so different, you and I.
Delusional. Someone get him a delusional
Gone
role.
completely, thoroughly. No more veganism for you.
Okay,
Wow.
veganism is so you can't just say no more veganism for me and expect me to be like, oh well,
No
okay,
more
I guess I can't be
veganism?
vegan anymore. Screw you and your vegan habits. I'm leaving. That's not how that works.
Jim Bob, you agree that the cow is having a good day. That's why you're not killing it. That's why
No,
you're
I
not
don't.
snapping it away.
No, I do not. I said I don't know, right?
Recorded.
There's a difference between the cow. There's a difference between the cow in a field, right? Just like chilling in a field, right? It could be happy, it could be sad, right?
We are identical.
No, we're not.
So what's the difference?
How are we identical?
So what's the difference?
How are we identical?
We both
Hey,
agree.
okay.
We both
You
agree
post
on
that live
everything.
stream?
You're funny, Mr.
Security?
I get
Can we
it
get a
now.
mod?
I get it now. This is an audition for a comedy act. I get it now. You're real funny, Mr. Slave. You should take up like a bigger career in comedy. Because this is like
Oh my
hilarious.
god.
Hey, okay, you're streaming, right?
I'm streaming, but I'm
No, I'm not streaming.
so I gotta go.
Hold on, Slade.
Okay, yeah, well,
Oh,
you know,
guys, okay.
I'm not gonna judge you like you judged me when I left.
Hey.
After like an hour.
Okay, what you say?
You did judge me.
I did. What did I say?
No, never mind.
I just.
I gotta water my frontal lobe again. It's kind of shrinking.
I never
What the
touched.
fuck?
No way.
Are you gonna sit here all day and say you're leaving, or just leave?
No, I'm waiting for the clock to hit 2. So it's. I mean, it's now 1:15. I mean, the amount of the length of my podcast. I'm waiting like 40 more seconds.
Turn guest on my podcast. Sorry.
Your podcast 2 hours long.
It's gonna be 2 hours. Yeah, within
I mean,
30
yeah.
seconds.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
So
Well, you
any
enjoy the rest of your
last
day.
thoughts from anyone? Any memorable thoughts?
Hey, Slave. Slave, I'm a huge
Your
fan
IQ
of
is
you.
room temperature,
I'm a
Mr.
huge
Slave.
fan.
Your points
I'm
make
a huge
zero sense,
fan.
and your arguments are irrelevant.
Well,
Yeah.
I think this was a
You
very
make most of the men on Earth look smart. Talking to you. Yeah.
well. I really
I thought I was stupid. Anyway.
well, Jim Bob. You are a formidable opponent. I give you that.
Bro, I feel like your brain is fermenting.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm leaving. Bye.
I really did not enjoy our time. Have a good day, Mr. Slave.
I'm sorry. Bye. All right, everyone. That was lovely. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye bye.